Hey guys, Fletch the Football Observer here, and today's video is going to be a transfer talking video. We're going to be rounding up some of the biggest rumours, some of the biggest dealings that have happened within the past few days. And I say the past few days because I haven't uploaded an episode in the past few days. So we're going to be rounding up some of the biggest rumours, some of the biggest dealings, and this is where it all comes together. So without further ado, let's get into it. We're going to begin with arguably the biggest story here. It's a story that broke and sprung to life over the weekend and has snowballed ever since. And it's a story that involves Paul Pogba after he hinted over the weekend that he may want to leave Manchester United this summer. I believe it was on Saturday, Pogba came out and stated that maybe it's time for him to begin a new challenge this summer by leaving Old Trafford. Of course, in the past, he's been linked with moves away from United, most notably to the likes of Real Madrid and even a return to Juventus. But this is the first real time that those rumours, that speculation has any weight or momentum behind it due to Pogba's statement he gave over the weekend. Pogba returned to United back in 2016 for a then record fee in the region of £89 million after originally leaving United for Juventus back in 2012. Last season, Pogba made 47 appearances, scoring 16 goals and assisting 11 times. And if he does leave, there's only one word in my opinion to sum up his Manchester United career, and that is inconsistent. I may have stated this in a previous video, but I'll say it again. Inconsistency is what I associate Paul Pogba with. He's shown flashes of brilliance in a United shirt, but nothing too consistent. And for me, he's always played better on an international level. When he's been with his international team of France, he's always looked a much better player. Maybe that's because he has better players around him, and if so, that's failure on the club and of course his previous managers for not building the team around him. And of course, I will say this as well, his constant off the pitch matters, whether it's his own brand or hairstyles and stuff, haven't exactly put him in a favourable light considering his performances on the pitch. So it's kind of a circus with Pogba at times, and I think whoever gets him next is going to have to deal with that. Juventus will obviously know what he's all about. Real Madrid are obviously rebuilding the Galacticos, so will it be the Spanish giant or will it be the Italian giant? We wait and see. But one thing's for sure, we have not heard the last of Paul Pogba this summer. Sticking with Manchester United for our next story, and this one features a rumoured interest in a player known as Issa Diop of West Ham. Reports over the weekend claim that United's hunt for a centre-back is still on course with a new target in the West Ham defender. Diop is 22 years of age and made 38 appearances in all competitions for the Hammers last season. And in those 38 appearances, Diop drew a lot of praise for his consistent performances in a top-tier league in a difficult position despite his young age. So much so that when West Ham beat Manchester United 3-1 last year during Jose Mourinho's time with United, Mourinho came out after the game and singled him out, initially praising the scouting staff at West Ham for signing him, and then went on to label the young defender as a monster. However, West Ham are not willing to sell the 22-year-old, however, and have attempted to price United out of a move by putting a supposed £60 million price tag on his shoulders. Diop signed for West Ham last summer from French side Toulouse for a fee believed to be around £22 million. And now he is possibly on the move again. Will this come to fruition? I don't think so. I think out of all the centre-backs that have been talked about being linked with Manchester United, I think this is a backup to a backup to a backup to a backup. We've already had Koulibaly's link, we've already had De Ligt's link, and we'll have the Harry Maguire saga that's still looming over United. So this is a backup to a backup to a backup to a backup if ever I saw one. And personally, I think Diop, for his age and for how well he did last season, is probably better off staying at West Ham as they look to obviously continue to build their squad and possibly mount a Europa League chasing season for next year. In what's becoming a slightly Manchester United dominated episode, we move on to our third story, and this one centres around United's pursuit of Aaron Wan Bissaka. Last week we talked about Wan Bissaka and how Manchester United were expected to return with a second bid for the English right back after their initial £40 million bid was rejected, and yesterday apparently United did come back with that second offer. It was rumoured that a £50 million bid was tabled. It was a deal that was £35 million up front with £50 million in add-ons, and it's been said that Palace have rejected that £50 million move. The 21-year-old has 3 years remaining on his contract at Palace, so Palace are really in no hurry to sell him, and Wan Bissaka doesn't appear right now to be trying to push a move through. So are United going to come back with a third bid, or are they going to look elsewhere? Remember, we did state that United have identified a backup to Wan Bissaka, so whether they move on now or whether they return, only the future knows. Moving on to our next story, we come to Barcelona, and yesterday there were reports suggesting that the Spanish Giants are prepared to let Ousmane Dembele leave the Camp Nou this summer. Dembele made 42 appearances for Barcelona in all competitions last season, scoring 14 goals and assisting 9 times, but he could be one of the casualties for this supposed squad shake-up that is happening at Barcelona this summer. Remember, of course, Barcelona, along with their fellow fierce rivals Real Madrid, are both going through rebuilding stages, shake-up stages, as both of them suffered slightly disappointing seasons on different fronts, with Real Madrid failing on all fronts, whilst Barcelona probably thought they should have had a better Champions League campaign than they did, and should have probably won the Copa del Rey, which they obviously didn't. As to where Dembele could go next, there's rumoured interest from the Premier League, mainly from Champions League winners Liverpool. But reports came out later that he could be used as a player plus cash deal for the return of Neymar to Barcelona. Now, this would be extraordinary, of course. But reports did suggest later that Barcelona have opened talks with PSG over his return, and of course they then went on to discuss the ins and outs of the possible deal and suggested that Dembele could be heading in the opposite direction as part of the Neymar deal. So we wait and see on that score. Either way, whoever gets Dembele next will have a 2-time La Liga winner who has also won the Copa del Rey medal to his name and was also part of France's World Cup winning squad of 2018. Oh, and he's only 22, meaning there's a lot of time on his side for him to continue to grow and develop and get even better as a player. So this guy is definitely one to watch this summer. And for our final story, we pick up where the Dembele story left off, because this one kind of goes hand in hand with it. Could Dembele's departure possibly be filled by Chelsea's Willian? Allegedly yesterday, Chelsea rejected 2 bids of £35 million each from both Barcelona and Atletico Madrid for this Brazilian winger. It's been no secret that for some time now, Willian has been a target of Barcelona. He has been on Barcelona's radar, having had multiple bids rejected for the Brazilian last year. Now, given Chelsea's transfer ban, they may be reluctant to sell. I mean, let's face it, they've already sold Eden Hazard this transfer window, so another decent player for them being sold would be kind of rubbing it in a little bit, and something that they probably would not want to face. However, they could be forced into selling him because there's no guarantee that they can tie Willian down to a contract extension, and his current contract runs out next summer. So the Blues could be facing losing Willian on a free transfer after the next season. Willian played 56 times last season for Chelsea, scoring 8 goals and assisting 14 times. And personally on this transfer, I'm a little bit baffled as to why Barcelona are interested in Willian when they are prepared to allegedly be giving up Dembele in favour of the Brazilian. Especially for a fee of 35 million. It's a fee of 35 million